On this episode of Mythbusters,
We're about to drop an elevator. I'm beside myself.
going down in the elevator of death.
92 feet.
If something goes wrong, somebody could get killed here.
Can a well-timed leap of faith save your skin? And the myth of homemade flight. Jamie and Adam take wing in a levitation machine build-off.
How did I know Adam was going to cheat?
Who are the Mythbusters? Adam Savage
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
and Jamie Heineman.
I kind of like it in here. It's private.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
Anything to say to the ducks back home?
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. It's one of the great what-ifs of modern living. What if the elevator you're riding suddenly plummets down the shaft? Can you save yourself? The Mythbusters are about to find out.
Well, we're here investigating the elevator of death. Now, the myth goes that you're in an elevator, the cables are cut or something, you're plummeting rapidly towards the bottom of the elevator shaft, and right at the very last second, you jump as hard as you can, and that saves your life.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
The Mythbusters need to drop an elevator down a shaft. Just before it hits bottom, the test subject will jump in the air. They'll measure his speed to see if he's avoided what seems certain death. First, a little expert instruction.
That's all your control wires. This is your traveling cable.
Lester Rappel has worked on elevators for 30 years, and he's not falling for this myth.
Well, if you're in an elevator, you're traveling at the same rate of speed, the same velocity as the elevator itself. So you're really not going to be able to overcome that physical fact.
What would you do if you were in a falling elevator?
I believe if I had presence of mind, I would probably try to lay myself down on the floor, assuming that I could get there, just to minimize the injury to my body.
But for this myth, they're looking for something really special. Jamie's got a lead on a derelict hotel in nearby Oakland that's 8 stories high. He's checking it out with builder Carrie.
Is that it?
I guess that's it. It's an 8-story building. Thank you, sir.
The grand old Hotel Royal was built around 1910. She ain't so grand anymore and is scheduled for demolition.
Oh my God. Since we're here anyway, can we film a horror movie?
Yeah.
They found the elevator, but it's not going anywhere fast.
There's the motor. What's left of it. It's an elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like steel. I don't know whether it'll stand up to a 8-story drop without crushing.
Getting the elevator working will be no small task. The cables haven't moved in years, and the motor is a wreck.
In theory, if we could tie power onto that, we would have a working elevator. The cables and everything are here. It's a little rusty, but if we can get it to work, it's going to be perfect. Sherry, we're going to go on up to the top, I think.
Don't leave me alone. Oh my God.
It's a long, long way to the top of the shaft. 8 floors, 9 counting the basement.
92 feet to the top of the pulleys.
92 feet to the dead bird.
A 92-foot drop, 1,500 pounds of elevator car. It looks like they have their location, but have the Mythbusters bitten off more than they can chew?
I don't know. It's kind of scary.
At the location, we've got our elevator shaft. I'm going to go out and get all the rigging equipment that I need so that we can pull it to the top and drop it. You've got the hard job of getting Buster to jump at the last second.
This experiment has two engineering challenges. First, to figure out a way to raise and drop the elevator. Second, to rig the victim to jump up at just the right moment. Jamie, Carrie, and Scotty are dissecting the human jump.
All right.
In the short moment of acceleration, the average top speed generated was just over 8 feet per second. Now, they need the victim to replicate that. And here's the victim now.
I need to figure out how to make Buster jump. I think I'm going to have to use some kind of spring because I don't want to go for the gunpowder.
No gunpowder, good news for Buster. Instead, a kind of turbocharged pogo stick, a car spring inside overlapping tubes with a quick release catch. They'll rig Buster to sit on top. Scotty's specialty is working with metal. So in no time, she's created Buster's launcher.
Giant industrial pogo stick. Nice.
The spring is tension, and the quick release set.
There you go.
There, okay.
Then Buster is lowered into place.
Now that looks like a good jump to me. I'm not sure, but I think we have a pretty good shot at actually launching Buster up in the air pretty good. It's a powerful spring.
It's time for Buster to fly.
Okay, here we go. Well, that wasn't very much at all. Okay.
Attempt one was more a jiggle than a jump.
What can I say? Gotta keep tweaking.
Adam, meanwhile, is looking for rigging, asking all kinds of questions salesmen don't hear too often.
I need to cut these cables and attach basically this quick release between the cables and my elevator so I can then drop the elevator. What would you recommend?
A career change, perhaps. But failing that, rigging salesman George Wong settles for cables and ties and double-strength doohickeys.
Okay. Hey, you gonna blow me up next? No, we're dropping an elevator today. Are you really? Yeah.
The whole experiment and the Mythbusters' safety will literally hang from this quick-release shackle. Everything has to be right.
That'll do it. That's perfect.
To reduce the pogo stick's weight, Scotty's cutting out as much of the heavy metal cylinder as possible. She's adding a second spring for extra power. And smearing the whole assembly with lard to cut friction.
Tastes like French fries.
It's like about a half pound of lard on there.
Well, when you have a giant box of lard, it's just so darn tempting.
Are we ready?
Face plant!
About 20 centimeters.
It's better, but still not near enough to a human jump.
About, I would say about here, which is low.
Well, one thing that I can see is that we want to get our gravity kind of directly above the spring a little bit.
Balance is one thing, but the real problem is power. Buster needs more spring in his step. If that spring is going to turn up anywhere, it'll be here, somewhere.
That looks like that would definitely fit in there. I probably have a pair of vice grips if you need them.
There we go. Drop. Got it.
Well, that looks like pretty perfect to me.
You like it?
I love it.
Did I do something good today?
You did great. Thank you. Good catch. Oh, yeah. Just fits. Yeah.
Buster may at last be ready for his great leap forward.
All right. Well, that was
That was a good jump.
Spirits are soaring. Buster reached a maximum velocity of nearly 12.5 feet per second, compared to Jamie's 8 feet per second.
I think that's a good run. I think we're there. That was significantly more than what we got before. He looked like he jumped.
They've solved half the elevator of death problem. Getting the Hotel Royal's elevator working again lies ahead.
2 words. Nasty. Ugh.
It's nasty enough inside the Hotel Royal for the Mythbusters to cover up with dust masks. There's the cleanup to be done, and Jamie's got to get the elevator working again.
Oh, it's going up. It went up.
Did the car go up?
Yep.
Well, that's a good sign. It is awfully stiff, but it is moving. So where there's movement, there can be improved movement. And I had an idea that I might be able to modify an electric vehicle that I built. It's a prototype that I have back at the shop.
It's the same electrical vehicle Jamie used in the 7-Up commercial, but extensively modified. He calls it the Life and Death Machine, or LAD for short.
I built a multi-purpose platform that has the electric motors, the gear reduction for them, speed controllers and electronics, and batteries all compacted into as tight of a unit as I could come up with, and then we put these treads on it.
Jamie sees the LAD as having applications in firefighting and law enforcement. But today, it's got to lift an elevator. A little Mythbuster love tap will ease the fit.
Okay, ready? Hey, that's it. All right. I don't think this thing is going anywhere. You want to turn it on? Let's see if we can move this car.
All right.
Remember, the elevator hasn't moved in years.
That's moving up. Okay.
Jamie, that looks great.
Yeah, baby!
Going up, 2nd floor, dust and echoes.
Couldn't be happier.
Do you have batteries for these? I think Jamie's rig is a classic Mythbusters rig. You know, we have to lift an elevator, and Jamie says, well, I've got a robot in the shop that we could modify to lift this elevator.
Bring it up about 6 more inches. Hokey pokey, top floor, man, over.
Top floor, broken fittings, pigeon poop, and all kinds of danger. Before starting work, Adam secures the car at the top of the shaft.
We can't rush it. We don't want to be, doing anything without being in total and absolute control of what's going on. It's nasty. If something goes wrong, somebody could get killed here.
Elevators are designed not to fall. Fortunately, the Mythbusters wrote the book on disabling safety systems. First up, the emergency brake.
When the balls spin around too fast, if the elevator's falling, they lift up and drive out the 2 brakes.
So what you're trying to say is you take the balls off, it don't work no more, right?
You got it.
Let's see.
Anticlimactically enough, I believe I've disabled the entire mechanism by removing this simple pin.
Well, okay.
They're not in free fall mode yet. As well as being cabled to a winch, elevator cars are also linked to a counterweight, which weighs about the same as the car when half full. That keeps the system in balance and the car won't fall. That counterweight just has to go.
We are cutting the cables. Stand by.
It's so much heavier than it looks.
Just the last lonely winch cables left. And with the car lowered back to the basement for safety, Adam is about to sabotage those too.
This is a 10,000-pound movie special effects quick release. Going to attach it to this really big shackle. And when we get upstairs, we'll be able to pull a pin, and this whole car will drop. You know, working with these dirty cables, I can't tell you how hard it is not to touch Jamie's white shirt. I just want to touch it, make it dirty. All right. You're ready to take tension on this, Jamie.
Okay.
The quick release is attached and holding.
Beautiful.
The star of the show has been roused from his luxury trailer. This promises to be the sorriest chapter in Buster's tragically accident-prone life. He'll ride that car down 9 floors, sitting on a pogo stick.
Okay, Buster, this won't hurt a bit.
Adam's tying off a trip line at the top of the shaft. That will pull the release on the launcher when the elevator's 6 feet from the bottom.
Looks about perfect to me. Okay, the rig is stationary. It's ready for...
The Mythbusters are ready. They've built a giant pogo stick and made a death trap out of a previously safe elevator. As Buster rises towards the penthouse, he surely knows the outhouse will follow. But could he somehow survive?
We're about to drop an elevator. I'm beside myself.
It's all going to be over in a few seconds. And with a big boom, what else could we ask for?
I think Buster's toast. But then that's his job.
You will die in the elevator. You will die.
It is not a good omen, but it's time for the great elevator drop. Can Buster survive a 90-foot fall if he jumps at the last second? Jamie and the team are in the basement. Adam's up top, quick release in hand.
I'm terrified. I'm totally excited. All right, here we go. Ready to drop in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh my God! That blew my face back.
Man, that was intense.
That was such a rush. It was just like this enormous blast of air.
Oh no.
The overhead camera shows Buster's pogo stick launched right on cue. But did it save him?
Talk about a gust of air. No.
His head's gone.
We've got an arm. I believe this is more damage than we've ever done to Buster in one myth before.
Hey, Adam.
I think Buster feels good about a job well done, and he just hopes that we don't put his head on backwards.
By the bottom of the shaft, the elevator and Buster were falling at 53 miles an hour. Buster jumped up at 3 feet per second, or 2 miles an hour. Enough to hit the roof, but he still hit the ground at a fatal 51 miles an hour.
I don't know if we can put him back together.
Yeah, Scotty can do it.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Buster will be repaired, but if he was smashed to pieces, how did that elevator operator survive her plunge in the Empire State Building from 10 times the height? Turns out the car was a tight fit inside the shaft, so trapped a cushion of air beneath it. And the cable hanging below coiled into a kind of spring as it fell. Those 2 factors slowed the car enough to save her life. Alas, fate was not so kind to Buster.
Well, you know, you might be weightless relative to the elevator, but you and the elevator are going down at 53 miles an hour. So unless you can jump up at 53 miles per hour, you're dead.
I think we've done all that we can here. I think this myth is definitively and finally busted.
Yeah, it was fun, though.